Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Perspectives. I'm Daren Jaime. Coming up tonight on Perspectives, we take a look at a very special guest with a very special mission. Our guest tonight, her mission is to improve the quality of life for people, mentally, physically, socially, and economically. Over the years, she's developed and implemented life-changing programs that have impacted people worldwide. She's a motivational speaker, youth activist, a writer, and the author of a highly celebrated book, Will the Real Me Please Stand Up? She's currently the president and founder of the Kerwin Phillips Foundation, and tonight she joins us for a rather unique mission. Miss Q English, and we welcome you to Perspectives.
Thank you, Daren. It's good to be here.
Good to be here. Good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We talk a little bit about your mission, and obviously you're a woman on a mission. Let's share with our viewers a little bit about the mission that you're on.
Wow, it's like, where do I start? Currently, as of this Saturday, October 24th, 2 p.m., we aim to distribute 1,000 coats to children of incarcerated parents, either currently incarcerated or previously incarcerated. That takes place at 2 p.m. at 1175 Boston Road over at New Covenant Dominion Fellowship. And the coats for us are a means to an end. We really aim to provide education, inspiration, and motivation for these children, and aim to reduce the statistics as far as them following their parents' footsteps. So we'll have some empowerment time with some panelists, people that's been there, done that, overcame, some that didn't overcome, to be there for those kids, as well as provide entertainment activities for them. So we have some step teams coming, and so it should be a real fun event. And then at the end of it all, we're going to give them their coats.
And you tell us about the coats are a mean to an end.
Yes,
means
they are.
to an end.
Yeah.
You really want to address the issue of violence, crime, and you really want to be able to help people with a social impact.
Absolutely. You know, when I think about it, really it's about changing their mindset, you know, allowing them to tap into their God-given potential to see that they can be the best them they can be besides their influences from the outside. So at this time, at that moment, we're going to have a captive audience of hundreds, hopefully 1,000 kids in one setting where we'll have opportunity to do just that, to motivate them. And then we'll have agencies that'll be there that are currently working with that population to provide resources long after they receive their warm coat. So it's not just a one-time thing. It's something that we want to see where we're in position to continually help them be successful. So obviously the whole message of anti-gang violence and all that is definitely at the forefront. We have a wonderful guy that's going to be coming just to share a quick, his quick testimony after serving 25.5 years of prison, pretty much being a leader out there in the gang world, and how he's overcome and now doing the right thing. So we'll have some real positive influence for them that day.
We talk a lot about incarceration, and we always focus on the person that's being incarcerated, but obviously with incarceration there's so many other things that come with it. Families are involved, jobs are involved, children are involved.
Absolutely.
Share a little bit with us about the ramifications of incarceration, some things that we sometimes, many people who are watching, take for granted.
Absolutely. Just to hit you with a quick stat, there's like 80,000 children of incarcerated parents in the state of New York alone. Okay?
80,000.
80,000. And since the year, I think it was 2002, our women population in prison has doubled. So as a result of that, because they're the primary caregivers, our increase in foster care is now evident. So they go through a lot, and those children, even though they're like hanging out with their peers and stuff, mentally they're affected. You know, and it's not something that they talk about or open up about. So having, you know, people that'll be there to let them know that, hey, we're here for you, we love you, we care for you. This is where you can call to get this kind of help, that kind of help. This is what this message is about on Saturday. You know, it's a message of love, it's a message of hope, it's a message of inspiration. You know, there's some stats thrown out there as far as the likelihood of them following their parents' footsteps. And I need to be careful with, you know, throwing those out there because there's some dispute in it. But there is a percentage that will follow as a result. So we have a situation. We have a mother and a daughter that's going to be there. We've had situations where the daughter did follow the mother's footsteps. So there's a lot of work to be done. And what we're doing is a small piece. But if we feel like if we can affect just a few of those children's lives, it's been worth it all.
I want to throw out some stats here, and I think our viewers are getting an opportunity to see this, though, but I want you to take a look at some of these numbers here, because children of incarcerated parents are 6 to 10 times more likely to end up in prison. That's according to the New York Amsterdam News 2006 article. That's a very frightening statistic.
It is very frightening, and a lot of it is, you know, we work so much on the intervention end, and that's necessary. It's very necessary. You know, they have the need for jobs. They have the need for employment. Yet, we need to put a greater emphasis on tackling that problem at an early age, you know, while they're still young, while they're impressionable, while in my mind, you know, that they're a blank sheet of paper. What we write on them at a young age is what they're going to become. That's what motivated me to even do, in years past, the youth entrepreneurship camps. I did that several years in various states, and that's so that they can find their inner potential, because so much of that's around them is the outside influence.
Right.
You know, and you know, I grew up in Spanish Harlem, you know, so, you know, I've seen people from the age of 10 to the age of 99, I'm exaggerating, still on the same place, the same stoop, so to speak, because they never tapped into what was God-given inside of them to say, hey, I'm better than this. And they didn't have people to be able to point them in that direction. Why? Because their mama did it, their mama did it. So now what we want to do is say, hey, you don't have to follow those paths. You have something great on the inside of you. Let's put you on that path of discovery. So some of the things we even addressed when we were dealing with the youth entrepreneurship is, what can you do now at the age you are now with the resources that you have? At that point, they begin to dibble down. Okay, what can I do? What do I love to do? Oh, I love to do here. Okay, well, maybe this is what I need to do. Maybe I can make some money doing that. Teaching them basics of marketing and simple business plans, because when you look in the prison population, you'll find that a lot of these men, you know, they were the drug dealers. They're entrepreneurs
in their own right,
on the wrong side of the street.
And
so
I've always said that. They
are absolutely. I mean, they got the marketing plan. They got the
business.
They got the business plan. They've got the target audience. They've got all of the elements.
Demographics.
Oh my goodness, and they're absolutely fabulous. But if you can hone those skills at an early age and creating them a hunger and a thirst to be productive members of society, we can save our generation.
You talk about men, but I want to talk about women for a minute, because I've got this statistic here, and this is, you know, something that really is an alarming statistic. More than 72% of women inmates in New York report being parents. That's compared to 58% of men.
Exactly.
So you've actually got more women in there that are actually parents than actually fathers, who, the quote-unquote baby daddies, if you will. Actually, it's more women in there.
Well, you know, actually, that statistic is telling us that these are the primary caregivers of our family. You know that. So if they're gone and they're on the rise to that alarming number, imagine what our children are going through. Because while a mother sometimes acts as mommy and daddy, it's kind of hard to see the daddy play both of those roles.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So they suffer even greater with the fact that that their parents are in jail.
And one of the things that we talk about is this: once an incarcerated person, male or female, spends time in the system, you have that child that's out there.
Right.
Then, if that person spends a considerable amount of time in the system, and then they come out, there's a whole new integration process that you have to have with that child. And sometimes you're coming back to children who don't want anything to do with their parents, who feel disconnected and in a dysfunctional home. And so just because a parent is out and they come back is not a guarantee that when you come back into that home system, that things are going to be peachy keen.
That's true. But there are some agencies that are doing their jobs and helping to create that cohesiveness and that transition for when they come out. So what they're doing is they're actually creating those visitations ongoingly. Because a lot of times these kids don't even go visit their mom and dad. But there are agencies out there now that are like providing like free buses and different things to get the kids out to where their parents are, to keep that communication open and actually providing counseling for the children and for those that are incarcerated that are about to come out. See, the thing is that's really causes the children to be at a place of distrust is when their parents are repeating the cycle.
Right.
Of the recidivism rate, you know, is really high. You know, they come out, they go in. They come out, they go back in. You know, so that's why at one point we were concentrating strongly on that aspect. But now we feel like let's shift gears and start working with these children even to a greater degree.